Hello and congratulations on getting access to this video course on the Instagram Profit Map. You're going to learn how to profit from Instagram without having to sell. All right, so this is video number 1, which is the introduction. And what I want to do now is give you a quick overview of what's inside this video course so you know exactly what to expect ahead of time. And that just gives you an idea of all the pieces of the puzzle and how they fit together, and implementation will be a lot faster. All right, so video 1 is this particular video, as I said. Video number 2 is platform comparison. So we're going to take a look at YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And the reason why is because we want to get an idea of the atmosphere and the environment and the behaviors so that when you enter Instagram, you do it correctly. Video number 3, we're going to talk about starting on the right foot. Video number 4, we're going to talk about how to build a brand or a lifestyle. And this is key, as specifically and especially for Instagram. And you'll see in just a minute. Video number 5 is what creates inspiration. And it'll make more sense in just a minute. But video number 6, we're going to talk about you get one URL. And with Instagram profiles, you can't really put the link in all of your posts like Facebook. It's just one URL. So how do you make money with that? And we'll talk more about that in the later videos. So video number 7, we're going to talk about how to sell on Instagram. Video number 8, we're going to talk about sponsored posts and how you can make money with that as you grow, and how you can use that to actually build your Instagram profile literally overnight. So now what I want to do is talk about mindset, because having the right mindset and going into this is so important. And the reason why is because a lot of times as sellers, product owners, or service owners, or whatever, business owners, you are, at the end of the day, you're trying to sell your product, right? Shopify store, affiliate store, or whatever. But instead of focusing on selling, you want to focus on influencing and creating a brand and creating a lifestyle. That's what Instagram is all about and how that's different. And we'll talk more about the differences in the next video. But here's what you need to get started, which is pretty self-explanatory. You're going to need, number 1, an Instagram account. And of course, you'll need an idea of what you will be influencing people about, which indirectly will sell your product and service. But it'll make more sense as I go through the course. All right, so with that said, let me jump on over to video number 2. All right, welcome back, and welcome video number 6, video number 7. It's called, let's talk about how to sell on Instagram. URL. So now you understand that selling the reality is what works. Instagram. You get, let's talk about how URL, you can make money. One place to add. If you follow this blueprint, then by now you have, it's not like Facebook where you create a post every single time and put a URL directly and is willing to follow you. Offer. You know, they want to buy because they feel connected wisely. They feel the question is kind of they figured out their identity. So part of that identity, in this particular video, part of, I just want to let you know you helping I'm going to talk briefly about, and they can feel better, the fundamentals. So that's why they want to buy from you. I'm going to people like go to Instagram to buy from people, and I'll show you. People don't like to buy things from. All right, so people they don't like. Instagram, like I said, pretty simple. You got to choose one spot. Whatever you might be, scuba diver, business person, the secret here is artist, because you're trying to build your brand, your lifestyle. The ideal place to direct them to buy is your product, your website. So we could be your WordPress site, a little bit about, and then on your WordPress site, I'm just kind of recapping your website and your offers. But what about your Shopify e-commerce store products? So the secret here is, well, you can simply create a store, because you're building a brand that showcases, because you're building a lifestyle that fits the lifestyle that you're portraying on your profile, to still brand yourself. You don't usually want to just, you can create pictures, direct people, you can create inspirational images. People have that taken the action to follow your products, but they're still getting to know you, right? They still trying to think about, like, build that identity, build that relationship with you. So you still basically it. You could do that for a short period of time and say, hey, blueprint that you can follow. By the way, I was from the Instagram profile, I recommend that you direct them to either a blog, let's say you direct them to your website or an opt-in with free tips. You could do that. So you're still
you
trying to
reveal
build
that in the
store,
store,
and
and
you're
you can
still
say, for the first 100
traffic.
I'm going to
If you
give
send them to a
you
blog
X%
with
more
off,
content, more
and then
free
the price is,
information, going to go up
then
from there. So you can
that's gonna
utilize
gain their
scarcity
trust or more likely
to drive
to want
people
more,
to your store,
right?
and buy.
Or if your
those
brand,
products. You can send them
so
directly
you're thinking
to your
about
website,
there's a little bit of
and
marketing involved in this as well.
They can buy.
So you can
the
also do
products.
this with affiliate products.
But or even products
At
or
the end of the
services
day,
that
you can
you
use
own.
that.
You can use an opt-in with free tips.
So
or
let's
a
say, for
squeeze page
example,
to build
that
your
you
list
have a
first,
training
because
course
what I
on
found
the
is
X
that
niche.
a lot of times it takes
You
7
create
12
an Instagram
times
lifestyle
to
post that
actually
relate to people's
touch
lives
the person
after they take
get to know
your
them
course, perhaps.
before they actually buy.
So you could show
So what I
people
mean
who
by
took your
touching
course,
or
you could
touch
show
points
maybe it's a
means
scuba diving
email
training
so
course,
it could be
and
7 to 12
maybe
different
how to
emails
after they sign
start
up
out with scuba
for
diving
a
as a
freebie
newbie or something. And you can
So
email them.
you could
using
create
an autoresponder like
related to that,
getresponse.com
posts
or
related
aweber.com.
if you go
and
through the
just
training
build that
course,
relationship,
you'll
through
be able to get to this
your
point
email
where,
autoresponder
like me,
system,
where I am able
and
to
then
go scuba
once you've
dive
built
wherever I want
that
to,
relationship
and
on
do
a
this and that
more personal, deeper
You can also
level,
cross niches as well.
then you can begin
have
to
like a
sell
business
things.
owner who's doing scuba diving. Say, I'm able
So
to
we don't
go out and
advise
do
you to
whatever
put
I
a
want, 'cause
URL
I'm
there
running my
where
own
you're
business.
selling a product
And
straight.
if you like to,
it's
check
actually
out
better
this profile
if
for my
your
business, you can
that link
or you can
is
mix
going
it
to
in.
your
You
blog
can be the
or
scuba
a
diving
content
business
piece with
person.
tips.
You can mix the
maybe
different
tips on
niches in
scuba
it.
diving,
But just
top
keep in
10
mind that you don't want to
things you
deviate
shouldn't
too
do
much
as
from that
when
target
a newbie
mindset,
scuba diver,
because the more
or
broad
top
things are, the
10
more general
gears
things
that I
are,
use,
you
if you
actually
think
lose
about
money
that.
that way.
You're telling them the gears that
So,
you use,
the more
and
specific,
maybe you
the
link
better.
them to affiliate links like Amazon affiliate links,
So you can show the results
so
and the benefits.
You're indirectly
and you're likely
making
to
money
sell
by providing
without
free
even
content.
having to sell.
So
You don't
that's
even have
another
to sell.
method of
But when it comes
indirect
to
selling.
actually selling,
Now,
and
make sure that
pushing
you,
the sales,
when you do this,
you can
make sure
insert
you
a little bit
follow
of
FTC
scarcity
guidelines.
Do too much.
Make sure to be
but a little bit of
transparent with people
scarcity,
that
like
you are making money.
This is going to end at a certain
anytime
date.
they
or certain
buy through
time,
your affiliate link.
or there's only 100 people.
By
or
doing this,
50
your
spots
goal
left.
is to gain
You can
their
do that. That's
trust
fine,
and
but
create
don't
a
do too
true
much of it on
fan
Instagram.
that loves you so much they spend
That's
at
why
least 10 to
Instagram
15
is so
minutes per day
powerful,
following
because if
you.
you don't like selling,
seeing
I mean,
what's
you
happening
can
in your
sell really
life
well
just
Watch,
by
looking
showcasing
at
your lifestyle,
the good times,
and
the
that's it.
bad times.
Now you can also
basically
leverage
when you
videos of
in
life
Instagram
of
is
your brand,
allowing you
now,
to do that. But
you might
keep
be
in
thinking,
mind
well,
that
what if I'm not
with
a person?
Instagram,
What if it's just a
you
brand?
have a very
Well,
short
same thing.
video
You can
length,
show
about
the lifestyle of the
15
brand,
seconds
what the
or
brand
so.
is
But
doing.
a lot of
what the
videos you see
brand
that are
is
10-second
going to
clips.
do,
They're really
like
jump
upcoming,
cuts,
meaning
meaning
they
they
show
previews
what the
of
person wants to
brand
see,
is
and then
doing.
they jump to
Because
something else,
Instagram,
and
if
jump
you
to
notice,
something
is a
else.
lot
So it's
about
not like
curiosity,
like
a lot
a
about
YouTube video where you can
sneak peek
expand it
previews.
or extend it to. So that's the end goal, like 10 minutes.
So
or something.
what I want to do
so
now
just
is
keep in mind
hop
that
on
they
over
have
to
to be
Instagram.com.
really short.
And
another
let's
thing
talk about what we
is,
just talked about.
while this is one
Alright,
way
so
to get more
Instagram is
eyeballs,
a
you don't want to
mobile
show your
app,
company
so
logo
I can't show
at
you
the
a
beginning of
ton,
the
but I
video.
can
So
show you at least
you'll
a few
see
things.
a lot of people do
But
like intro videos
if you
or
go to
outros on their YouTube videos. You can't really do that with Instagram because
find the
you're going to
search
lose
bar.
their
If you go
their
straight to
attention span.
Instagram.com.
Instagram
Instagram
is
is
quick,
quick,
fast,
with
a screen that says
easy,
you need to download
short,
the app,
straight to the point.
But
as you can see here,
so if you
could
get
explain
one URL, and the one
your
URL
product
is going to
maybe
be
the
located
scuba diving
basically
gear at the
really,
top,
really fast,
you could show the
inside
scuba
your
diving gear.
description.
You could show you
So
like
if
jumping
you notice,
in,
if I take a look at some
and
of
putting
these
it on,
images,
jumping
let's
in, and they
say
have to be
this
really
one,
short. So basically,
this
you
one
can
here,
tell a story.
You'll see that
with
it has
1
a lot
second
of
here,
tags.
1 second here,
You
1
got
second here.
hashtags, so you could use
Versus a
hashtags
YouTube video
as a
course,
means
it would
to
be
direct
more
people
so like
to a certain
you know,
place.
you watch them,
but
it's
you
like
can't
10-minute
really
video,
enter
5-minute
a
video, or even a few
in
minute
here.
video.
You just can't do
that's
that.
why that
with
one
Instagram.
URL
so
has to be.
You can
used
actually lose
wisely.
eyeballs.
Now you can
if
see,
you show an intro
like I said,
video
with Instagram,
on Instagram. So you don't want to do any of that.
Profile, you can see that they're directing you to their blog. They're still trying to gain your trust, right? So they've not directed you to a certain product, but of course that's Instagram. So they could direct you to Instagram.com, but for whatever reason they chose to direct you to a blog. But let's go up the top here and let's type in scuba diving, and let's just choose this one here. So as you can see, this guy has 696 posts, 117,000 followers, and he is linking right here. So let's see what he's linking to. So scubadiving.com/ So obviously this person doesn't own scubadiving.com. It's a photographer spotlight. So it looks like they're linking here to show you that, hey, I am really a scuba diver. But what she could be doing is, if they wanted to monetize he or Beth Watson here, she could be directing people to a blog that showcases scuba diving and all that. Now, she's more into photography, so she's probably going to attract people who are in photography. So it's not really going to be scuba diving equipment, but rather people are probably going to want to know, hey, what camera are you using? What equipment are you using? What scuba diving equipment are you using? And all that for the purposes of photography. So you see how in this example, it may not be necessarily she's selling scuba diving equipment, but rather than she's attracting a specific type of mindset. So you have to get an idea, like, who are you attracting? So in this case, scuba divers who love photography. This person obviously does not have a URL, so he's losing out on, making income, and that's probably not the reason why he's on here. But as you can see here, camping tent, 44,000 followers. He could be redirecting people to a blog, or you could also do a Shopify store. But a blog would be better because then you're still basically building trust, and you can send them from the blog to a lead capture page where they can get freebies and all that and build your list. So what I found over the years, as far as making money goes, building a list is key. If you don't have their name and their email address, or just their email address, then you're going to lose them and they're going to forget about you and all that. So that's why having a URL is so crucial. But those are just some examples of what you can do. You don't have to follow this step by step, but if it makes sense for you just to put a Shopify store, just do a Shopify store. Just don't think too much about it. But these are just some examples of what you can do with the one URL. Hello and welcome to video number 7, and let's talk about how to sell on Instagram. Now you understand that selling indirectly is what works. Let's talk about how you can make money. If you followed this blueprint, then by now you have understood how to create a true fan that loves and is willing to follow you. They want to buy because they feel connected to you. They feel that they have they figured out their identity, and part of that identity is part of you helping them, and they can feel better. So that's why they want to buy from you, is because people like to buy from people who they like. And people don't like to buy things from people they don't like. I mean, think about that. Pretty simple. So whatever you might be, scuba diver, business person, artist, whatever your brand might be, the question begs, how do you get people to buy your products? So we briefly covered a little bit about this already, but I'm just kind of recapping and re-emphasizing this. But what about your Shopify e-commerce store products? Well, you can simply create a store that showcases the product that fits the lifestyle that you are portraying on your profile. You can create quotes, you can create pictures, you can create inspirational images that talk about specific products on your Shopify store. So if you think about like a sneak peek preview for a movie, this is basically it. You could do that for a short period of time and say, hey, by the way, I was able to negotiate a special deal for you. And let's say you direct them to your Shopify e-commerce store. You could do that. And then you reveal that in the store, and you can say, for the first 100 people, I'm going to give you X% off. And then the price is, going to go up from there. So you can utilize scarcity to drive people to your store and buy those products. So you're thinking about, there's a little bit of marketing involved in this as well. So you can also do this with affiliate products or even products or services that you own. So let's say, for example, that you have a training course on the X niche. You create a Instagram lifestyle post that relate to people's lives after they take your course, perhaps. So you could show people who took your course, you could show maybe it's a scuba diving training course, and maybe how to start out with scuba diving as a newbie or something. So you could create posts related to that, posts related to, if you go through the training course, you'll be able to get to this point where, like me, where I am able to go scuba dive wherever I want to and do this and that kind of thing. You can also cross niches as well. You could have like a business owner who's doing scuba diving. Say, I'm able to go out and do whatever I want because I run my own business. And if you like to, check out this profile for my business, you can, or you can mix it in. You can be the scuba diving business person. You can mix the different niches in it. But just keep in mind that you don't want to deviate too much from that target mindset, because the more broad things are, the more general things are, you actually lose money that way. So the more specific, the better. So you can show the results and the benefits, and you're likely to sell without even having to sell. You don't even have to sell. But when it comes to actually selling and pushing the sales, you can insert a little bit of scarcity. You don't want to do too much, but a little bit of scarcity, like this is going to end at a certain date or a certain time, or there's only 100 people or 50 spots left. You can do that, that's fine, but don't do too much of it on Instagram. And that's why Instagram is so powerful, because if you don't like selling, you can sell really well just by showcasing your lifestyle, and that's it. Now, you can also leverage videos, and Instagram is allowing you to do that, but keep in mind that with Instagram, you have a very short video length, I think it's about 15 seconds or so, but a lot of videos you see that are 10-second clips. So they're really jump cuts, meaning they show what the person wants to see and then they jump to something else and jump to something else. So it's not like a YouTube video where you can extend it to like 10 minutes or something. So just keep in mind that they have to be really, really short. And another thing is, while this is one way to get more eyeballs, you don't want to show your company logo at the beginning of the video. So you'll see a lot of people do like intro videos or outros on their YouTube videos. You can't really do that with Instagram because you're going to lose their attention span. Instagram is quick, fast, easy, short, straight to the point kind of thing. So if you could explain your product, maybe the scuba diving gear, really, really fast, you could show the scuba diving gear, you could show you like jumping in, and putting it on, jumping it in, and they have to be really short. So basically you can tell a story with 1 second here, 1 second here, 1 second here, versus a YouTube video. Of course, it would be more so like, you watch them, it's like 10-minute video or 5-minute video or even a few minute video. You just can't do that with Instagram. So you can actually lose eyeballs if you show an intro video on Instagram. So you don't want to do any of that. All right, so welcome back. This is video number 8. We're going to talk about sponsor posts. So congratulations, you've reached the end of this video course, and this is the last video. All right, so if you just start out with Instagram, it's obviously hard to make money right off the bat, right? Because you don't have anybody following you. But how do you grow your account rapidly? Well, there's actually a way. You do have to spend some money. So if you're looking for a free way to do it overnight or over a week span time, you're not going to be able to do that. So you're going to have to spend about weeks or so building up your Instagram profile. And the way you do that is simply by posting a lot of images. Now, using sponsor posts is a great way to leverage people who are bigger than you that have huge amount of followings. So you could either approach people to do this, or you could go to sites to do that, which is a lot easier. But this is not a hack. It's not a software. You're simply leveraging Instagram users with large followings. So I could approach somebody who's a scuba diver, maybe that guy who's not even selling anything, and ask him, hey, I noticed that you have 117,000 people. I was wondering if you would be willing to create a post for me directing people to my a scuba diving product or something. You could even say, hey, I'll give you 50% cut if you do it for free or something. So you can negotiate in different ways doing that. But I recommend that you start out using some certain sites that I'll talk about in just a minute. So what you're doing is you're leveraging people who have followings and saying, hey, can you sponsor me, promote me, basically. Now, this is how big brands actually are able to build really, really fast followings. So if big brands are doing this, this is something you can do as well. So a lot of big brands have found that they can't just move into a market and just dominate the market. They have to gain trust. And the way they gain trust is they buy a lot of sponsored posts. So you basically pay them anywhere from $50 to $100 to get them to post. Now, some of these sponsored posts are really, really big Instagram users, and they'll charge you thousands of dollars. So obviously you can't start out with that unless you have a lot of money. You could do that, but I don't recommend that you do. But this is something that you could do and you can make money as well. So I'm really talking about this right now as of building your profile, but you can use it as you grow. Let's say one day you have 10, 20, 30,000 followers. You could also sell sponsored posts as well. So, like I said, a lot of brands realize they cannot reach specific audiences, especially because nowadays people want to connect specifically with people that they identify with. How do you go about leveraging small bloggers' audiences like these big brands? So what you do is you find Instagram influencers in the specific niche that you are around. You pay them, and you pay them to do a shout out. So you can do the same thing. You can easily get people to do a shout out about your profile, your product, and your service, which is basically your profile. So that's why building your brand is key. So you want to make sure you build somewhat of a profile first. Maybe spend about a week or so populating it with beautiful images first before you get people to your profile. Because let's say that you purchase a $100 shout out and you get people to your profile. If people don't like your profile, it's just like a sales page. If people don't like the sales page, they're not going to stay. They're not going to follow you. So you want to make sure that you populate it to a certain point where you have beautiful looking images. At least the 9 first images are really, really good. And you track that specific type of person who is seeking that specific type of identity, that specific lifestyle. And then you start utilizing these methods to build your profile. So think about it. If you find a scuba diver user that has 1 million people driving scuba diving fanatics to your scuba diving training center, I mean, think about how many targeted prospects you're going to get, right? See how powerful this is? So let's talk about a short list of where you can go to actually do this. You can go to shoutcart.com and pay people money. The nice thing about this is you can come here, you can find people specifically targeting specific demographics and specific interests and specific hobbies. You can go to buysellshoutouts.com. You can even go on fiverr.com. Although I would warn you, if you go here, you'll notice that some of these Instagram profiles could be developed with software. The software generated tons of followers. They could be fake. So you want to keep that in mind. A lot of Instagram profiles have a lot of fake followers. So you don't want to be paying somebody $100 or even $500 for that matter to send somebody like fake people to your profile. So that's just something to think about on both ends and something to protect yourself with. So you can do this one little hack to build your profile. And as you grow, you can do the same thing and sell these types of sponsored posts. Now, keep in mind that when you do this, you do need to kind of let people know, hey, this is a sponsored post. Because due to FTC guidelines, you need to have transparency, and they want to make sure that you're letting your followers know, hey, this is a paid post. Somebody's paying me to post this, kind of thing. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this video course, and just go ahead, implement these methods. Really what it comes down to as a recap is finding that lifestyle, finding that identity, building that brand, and attracting the right person. So that really comes down to conversions, and then traffic and all that. The higher your conversions are, the higher you're going to convert your traffic. So rather than, you send 100 people and only one person converts into a follower, you could send 100 people and even 20 people or 30 people would actually convert into a follower. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this video course as much as I enjoyed teaching it. And without further ado, make sure that you implement and take action.